Good evening, everyone. We've got a couple of people here. So we've got just gone on 7 o'clock. Can you all hear me okay? Just type in, Steve, I see you there. Whack in a quick type if you can hear me all right, mate. All right, fantastic. Look, obviously my name's Dave and I'm from Market Share Property, and just to give you a little bit of a background as to who I am and what we did, we run a residential real estate office, and some time ago, it'd be about 2 years ago now, we got a little bit frustrated with the multiple offer situation, and we decided to, I guess, open it up to a lot more transparent fashion. From our point of view, we felt that real estate was moving in a certain direction, and we needed to create a great deal of more transparency for our buyers. So we set about creating some software to allow us to do that. And Market Buy, or our online offer system, was the result. We've found it has been really, really successful with our clients. So I thought we ran a webinar a couple of weeks back. I know some of you have seen it, some haven't, but we decided to just do a bit of a question and answer situation, and just give people a bit of a chance to ask any questions that they might have in regards to how it operates and what it does, and how we apply it in our day-to-day real estate practice. So I guess if you guys want to put some questions in the chat box there, is there any specific questions that people have before I go on and do a bit more of a description about what we do and how we do it? All right. So what we've set up is we've set up a program that allows our agents to offer an online offer system. So invariably, what happens in a multiple offer situation, particularly with a sale by set date or a sale by fixed date or something along those lines, we have a situation where we ask our buyers to come in and make their very, very best offer. We don't often give them a great deal of an opportunity to know where they need to make their offer at. They're just asked to make their best offer. And we found that was incredibly frustrating for a lot of our clients. And certainly a lot of them came back to us and said if they knew where they had to aim at and what their target was, that many of them would have been in a position to make those offers. So from our point of view, we just felt that it was probably in our best interest to offer something that gave all of our buyers the best chance to make their best offer. Because I figure, from our point of view, that really benefits our owners. If our owners have got a chance to get every last cent and every buyer knows exactly where they need to be, then clearly that's got to be beneficial for everyone. So that's basically the crux of what we've done. Have we got some specific questions from people as to what we do and how it works for people? So I've unmuted you all. Is there anyone there that's got a specific question for us, or we can, I guess? All right, Tony. It's all new to you. You have no idea. All right. So basically, essentially, what we've done is we set up an online offer, an online system. We created software that allows our buyers to log in. So I'll run through the process very, very quickly for you. We run normal campaigns that you would all run with open for inspections, buyers through listings on our local portals, realestate.com, domain. And once we get to a 3-week period, it's generally 3 weeks, we run our campaigns. We'll set a date for a start of the sale. We'll ask our buyers to register, and they'll register through a sign-in page to a website. Once that registration has been received, each of those buyers will be asked to register with a credit card. And we do that so we can verify their identity. And we can make sure that they're legitimate buyers and we don't have double ups or people, trying to scam the system, for want of a better term. Once they're registered and the sale would generally start on a Monday after the third open for inspection at 5 p.m. is a time that we'll often start our sales. And buyers are able to log in. Now, it follows very much an auction format. So a buyer will make an offer. It'll show up on the screen and everyone's aware of what, and it's just a linear line of offers. So everyone can see what the offers are. And then from there, we... From there, we have the emails and alerts will go out to the owners, to the agents, and to all the other buyers, making them aware there's an offer. They'll generally have anywhere between 30 minutes and 45 minutes, and that will really depend on what we set as far as the sale goes to make a competing offer. If there is no competing offer, then the owner has an opportunity to make a counter offer. That counter offer, say there's an offer at 500, the owner can then make a counter offer at, say, 550. And the buyer has an opportunity to either accept that price or to make a further offer somewhere in between the two. If at any point a second purchaser enters into the transaction, then the owners lose their opportunity to make any further counter offers, and the buyers just go on a very much a bid by bid situation as you would in an auction. We also have a reserve. So we have a red light next to the price and we have a green light next to the price once it's past reserve. So everyone's fully aware of when a property's on the market. And we found that giving buyers the opportunity to bid in the comfort of their own home with plenty of time between their offers to make decisions gives them a great deal. It removes a lot of the barriers that we generally have in sales, where, oftentimes we can say to a buyer, look, there's 4 other offers or there's 3 other offers. And in a lot of cases, there's, that's met with some skepticism. It's met with a degree of distrust and a degree of not really believing what the agents say. So we wanted to take those barriers away because we think it's counterproductive to our owners to have any of those or any of that negativity in their sale. We wanted buyers to compete on an equal footing and we wanted them to have as much transparency as possible. So every time an offer is made, unlike like an eBay system where you've got a set time for a sale to end, every time an offer is made, we reset the timer, or the timer resets automatically. Now that timer is predetermined on each individual sale. It could be 30 minutes, it could be 45 minutes. Once we've passed reserve, we have a 2-stage timer. So once we've passed reserve, that timer will default to a much shorter timer. It could be 10 minutes, it could be 5 minutes. Once again, that's set on a sale-by-sale basis. And that allows a greater degree of competition and creates an urgency amongst the buyers that they have to obviously finalise the sale in a reasonable period of time. Most of our sales run from anywhere from 2 hours through to 4 hours. If it does run longer than that, then we suspend the timer between the hours of 11 p.m. and 8 a.m. And that's obviously to allow people to go to sleep. We clearly state to all of our buyers that a property can't be sold during the middle of the night. However, they're free to continue to make offers if they choose to do so. And we find that works exceptionally well. It's not uncommon for us to see people at 2 o'clock in the morning making offers. Now they know it can't be bought overnight and the timer won't reset or restart until 8 o'clock in the morning. But it's a wonderful feeling for an owner to wake up in the morning and see that their property has progressed by another $10,000 or another $15,000. And we've had some amazing results. We've had up to 8 buyers at any given sale. Our best result out of the 23 sales that we've run so far is 101,000 over the reserve. And our best result as far as offers, we've had one particular sale that had 73 separate offers over the course of seven hours. And look, I think as agents, we all hear about disruptors and we all hear about people who are trying to cut agents out of the commission. And I think this is a really, really good way for us to be able to demonstrate real and tangible value in what we do, in how we go about our business. I don't think it's unfair to say that in the real estate industry, it's getting harder and harder for clients or for prospective owners to really differentiate between the different agents. You'll often have a situation where 4 or 5 agents go in to talk to a vendor, and in a lot of cases, it's difficult for them at the end of that process to work out who they would use. There's just not significant differences between the offerings of agencies. Tony, what area have we been running at? We've been running in the outer eastern suburbs of Melbourne, so in Croydon. So our makeup of our sales is about 70% private sales, or sale by set date, sale by fixed date, whatever you call it in your area, and auction. So the vast majority of our stuff is not auction. And being in a hot market like we are in Melbourne, we've had a lot of times where you can have 4 or 5 offers. It does work exceptionally well for single offers as well. You know, we do have that ability to counter offer. Now, I think it's important to say that with the counter offers aren't submitted by the owners themselves. They're not submitted by the property owners. We allow the agents to do that in consultation with their vendors. But I think it's important that, unlike a lot of the disruptors and other, you know, if I hear another person say Uber, I think I'm going to go and smack them in the mouth. At the end of the day, from our point of view, I think agents are critical to a sale process. I think agents are best placed to ensure that a property gets the most competition. And, you know, I think part of our process is really selling the benefits of a property through an open for inspection, through private inspections, and creating that fear of loss and that sense of urgency amongst the buyers. And I think most owners struggle to do that, particularly ones that don't have any sales experience. But I think there's room, massive amounts of room, for us to open up the offer process to provide a lot more transparency. I think one of the things that we hear most of all in our sales is, you know, once we let buyers just go for it, once we give them the freedom and the information that they need to make really good, conscious, clear decisions, then, you know, they will go to their highest. They'll go to their highest without fear of being ripped off. They'll go to their highest without fear of being misled. And I think the urgency to buy property, sometimes as agents, we can often be an impediment to the sale process. You know, we can often stand in the way of buyers doing what they want to do, and that is buy property and buy it, you know, at a reasonable price. But the sense of competition that people have, and I've had people say to me, well, it's not a $10 gadget, or it's not a car or a motorbike. You know, people won't buy properties online. And I will say, quite honestly, that was my concern when I first started this process over 2 years ago. We've now been running sales for 12 months. And I can tell you that same competitive spirit kicks in. I don't know if any of you have ever bought anything on eBay, but you just don't want to miss it. You don't want someone else to take it from you. And even though we're dealing in hundreds of thousands of dollars and sometimes up over $1 million, how do you sell it to the vendors? Okay, so I have a demonstration process or a demo site that I've set up that I'll tell you a quick story. I was in an appraisal and I got a phone call from a vendor that said to me, look, I've had 4 agents in, I've heard about your site, and bear with me a sec, I've got
You could have bought this place straight from my mother.
Okay, sorry, I just had to mute someone. I was hearing someone's TV in the background. So I had a phone call from a guy. He said had 4 agents in, fairly large companies, and they had it was a $1.3 million property. They'd all quoted 2% of the sale price for the commission. So he said to me, look, Dave, I really can't justify spending $26,000 on what I can't see the value in it. So what I'm going to do, because they're all offering exactly the same thing, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to call up all of these agents and I'm just going to offer it to whoever gives me the cheapest price. They're all big names, big franchises, and I'm just going to give it to whoever gives it to me for the cheapest commission, because I really can't see a difference. I said, look, give me 10 minutes. I can be around there in an hour and a half, and we'll sit down, we'll have a chat. So we went around there, and I had his wife there, and I said to him, what happens if I could say to you that we have an opportunity to create competition. We have an opportunity to give your buyers the chance to purchase your home in a very open, very transparent way, and they can do it from the comfort of their home. They can do it from their car if they like. And once once a buyer has been confirmed, we can automatically deduct an initial deposit, whether it's $1,000 or $1,500 from their credit card, and it will go straight into our trust account and we can exchange contracts in a matter of minutes. And he said, look, sounds unbelievable, sounds great. If it's possible, how do we do it? So I set up a quick demo for him. I said to him, do you get your emails on your phone? He said, yes. I asked his wife, Kirsty, do you get your emails on your phone? She said, yes. I set him up as a vendor, set her up as the buyer. I was the other buyer. It took me 2.5 minutes to set up. Shot him an email, invited him into a demonstration sale, and let them go for it. And, they had a lot of fun as both the owner and the buyer. And, the reserve was 500. I think Kirsty's last offer was 7 million. They just got a little bit carried away. And 5 minutes after I'd finished the demonstration, they said to me, well, this is fantastic. What do we have to do? Had not ever met these people before. We'd never laid eyes on each other. Someone had told them about our software and what we were doing, and things were a little bit different. And whereas they had struggled to find value with the 4 other agents that they'd seen over the past 4 or 5 days, they signed on the spot. We walked out of there with full commission, full advertising, and it was just a no-brainer for them. So to answer your question, Tony, how do we sell it to vendors? We sell it to vendors in that we say to them, everyone's buried in their phones. Everyone's buried in their iPads. Everyone is online pretty much 24 hours a day these days. So if we want to maximize our opportunities with buyers, then we should be where the buyers are. We should put them in a position where they're comfortable, where they've got an opportunity to have discussions amongst themselves. And if you were going to buy something, or you were going to purchase and make the biggest financial decision of your life, isn't it important that we make them as comfortable as possible to make those decisions? And there's no doubt that people sitting at home with a phone or an iPad or a laptop or whatever the case may be are as comfortable as they're ever going to be. We've had some amazing stories come back from buyers. We've had buyers making offers at work, and all of their workmates are around them, just egging them on. Make another one. Make another offer. You don't want to miss it. And having the timer count down in 30 minutes. See, what we've found, and I've been an auctioneer since 2000. Didn't you just cut out the agent? No, absolutely not. We don't believe the agent should ever be cut out of the process. We've made this critical to one of the critical aspects of the software is an agent has to be involved. We haven't cut out the agent. I think the agent's role in any transaction is to make sure that we create that sense of competition. We build that fear of loss through our open for inspections. We fire the buyers up to go out there and make their best offers and to, bid aggressively. The same argument could be had for an on-site auction. An on-site auction, and I've been, as I said, an auctioneer for 17 years, an on-site auction at its bare basics is just an offer management system. It is just to allow buyers to do it transparently, but it does it in a very old-fashioned way. It forces people to be on-site. It forces people to be in highly stressful situations, and it forces them to make split-second decisions. Now, I know a lot of people say that works well for an auction, but it only does for some people. There's a hell of a lot of people out there that put under that level of pressure and put on the spot like that in a crowd of people will shrink into themselves. From that point of view, we think allowing them the time to talk amongst themselves, to work each other. If there's a couple involved, there's always one that likes it more than the other. And there's always one that will poke the other one in the side and go on, just one more bit. It works really well. People under 40, our oldest purchaser so far has been 73 years of age. So, I think there's a misconception out there that a lot of people have that technology or using computers and smartphones and iPads are for people under 40. I guarantee you scroll through your Facebook feed, the vast majority of people that are posting 48 times a day are people in their 40s and 50s. It's been the Generation X and older that have really embraced social media and have embraced smartphones and have embraced that level of technology. Anyone of any age is capable to use it. We've had zero issues despite age brackets. It doesn't matter how old they are. They've found it very easy. And when I set this up with a really clear intention. I had said to our developers and our partners that built the software with us that if I couldn't put this software in front of my 10-year-old son, if he couldn't use it without instruction, then I didn't think it met its brief. It had to be something that was so simple and so easy to use that anyone could use it. So from that point of view, absolutely. I can show you, bear with me a sec, guys. Mike, it'll absolutely work. It'll work in any area with our latest upgrades that we've just finished with a single offer capacity. Let me go through that really quickly as a single offer capacity. What we've done is we've created a situation where if there's only one offer, the vendor can counter offer through their agent. And I'll make that clear again. It does have to be through their agent. The agent will make that counter offer on behalf. Once there's a counter offer, there will be an accept offer button. So a purchaser has the option to either accept the offer at the vendor's counter offer or make a further offer. Should a second buyer enter into the negotiation at any time, then the vendor loses their right to counter offer, and their last offer becomes the new reserve, becomes the new green light point. So it can work with one buyer, it can work with 16 buyers. The most number of buyers we've had compete on one property is 8. But let me show you just quickly. Bear with me a sec while I pull up what the site looks like. All right, so this is what the site looks like. If we have a sale, that's what the vendor sees. The vendor gets their own page. That's what it looks like on a tablet. It's what it looks like on a phone. So it's a fully responsive site. It's what it looks like on a laptop. This is a Jones family. This is a registration page. So we ask a buyer to go in. They have to provide a password. They have to provide a password. They have to put in a credit card. Now that credit card, we don't take any money off the credit card. We would do what's known as a pre-authorization, and we hold money against the name so they can't withdraw it. And obviously at the end of the sale, whoever's won the sale has $1,000 or $1,500 or whatever's predetermined, taken straight off their credit card, and the pre-authorization is released for everyone else. This is what the other buyer sees. So we've got 2 buyers there. If these people then register, so we've got a password, they accept the terms and conditions, they register the sale. You can see here, this is just what the screen looks like. So we've got all the Section 32s and the contracts as a downloadable PDF, so everyone can see exactly what the sale documents are. And if we say that the Jones family want to make an offer of, say, $480,000, there's 2 stages for the offer, so they have to confirm the offer. And you can see it just shows up on the screen here. Also shows up on the owner's screen, and it shows up on the second buyer's screen. So this buyer can then, and you can see that that's the red light, green light. So that red light indicates that the property is not at reserve yet, that we haven't passed the point that the vendors are happy to accept. If at some point, we've only got the one offer, then, as I say, the vendors would have an opportunity here to counter offer, but because we've got 2 offers, they don't have any ability to interact with the sale. And that's just done because we don't want owners or vendors bidding themselves up over and above and destroying the sale. I think you can see that, we don't want them involved in the negotiation process if there's other buyers out there competing for the property. So once again, we've got another buyer. This Edna from Mooney Ponds has made an offer of 490,000. This will update across these screens in a second. And every time that offer is made, you can see here it just automatically updates. So 490, and it's just a linear line of offers. Every time an offer is made, this timer resets. Now, because this is a demonstration, I've just reset this timer for 2 minutes, but in a live sale, we'll generally do 30 minutes. Once we've passed reserve, we would then kick that back to either a 10-minute timer or a 15-minute timer. 10 minutes is pretty good. That just ensures that people have got that urgency. We don't, once we're above reserve, we don't want people waiting half an hour for another offer to come in. We want to make sure that people know that we're at the business end of the transaction and the property is going to be sold. So they've made an offer over reserve. You can see instantly, once we're over reserve, that light now goes green. So everyone is clearly aware, you can see it updates across all screens. Everyone's clearly aware that the property is on the market. During the course of this, obviously, everyone's getting email alerts letting them know what's going on. So they're aware that the property is now being sold, or now ready to be sold, and they're aware that each and every offer that's come through, and that's true for the buyers as it is for the seller. So the seller gets similar sort of emails, worded slightly different, but they get similar sort of emails letting them know what's going on. We also have an agent category, and obviously the agent has the ability to look at the back end. They can see buyer details. We do have the capacity to put conditions in there. So you can make a sale subject to finance for 14 days. You can make a sale subject to a building inspection, and you can do that on a sale by sale basis. If for whatever reason you think you're going to get a lot more interest in a property by having the capacity for people to make their offers subject to finance, you can do so. Now, we have done that. We have some fairly strict rules on subject to finance through this system. You cannot have more than 80%, or you can't be borrowing more than 80%. We don't want to be messing around with mortgage insurance and things like that. We do have building inspection and pest inspection, or building and pest inspection, that you can add into a sale. And I think you take that on really on a sale by sale basis. If you've got 3 or 4 buyers, but out of those 3 or 4 buyers, 2 of them necessarily have to be subject to one or the other conditions, then I think it's often a good idea to allow them into the sale. And you have those conditions obviously pre-approved by the vendor before you allow them to bid on the property. And I think, the benefit of having competition outweighs any negative of a conditional sale. And that's much like any other private sale or private treaty situation that you would have, where, sometimes people will take much higher money and accept a subject to finance if it's going to ensure they get another $10,000 or $15,000. So I'll show you some actual live bidding screens so you can have a look at what they look like. So this is an actual sale. So you can see there that this is one of the ones that went well over reserve. I haven't got the full list of offers because there were 73 offers on that one. That property started at $730,000. We had 73 offers and it sold at 891. The light went green at 790. So we were $101,000 over reserve on that. That was obviously a very competitive sale, but it worked fantastically. We auction very few homes here in Bendigo, and when they do, they generally do not sell in the day. I'd love to see how this system would go. Could be a good thing. Look, Tony, we've found it excellent. What we've tried to do is we've taken the very, very best of auctions, and we've taken the very best of private treaty and sale by set date and sale by fixed date, or whatever you call it in your market. And we've melded all those together into a very, very open, very transparent offer process, and it works a treat. Settlement time's preset. So with the I'll just pull this back up again. With the contracts and the Section 32s that are on site, so we've just got sample contract for this. But with the Section 32s and the contracts on site, we'll pre-fill out the contract and we'll set that settlement date with our vendor. In a lot of cases, we'll say, well, it can be anywhere between 60 days and 90 days. It has to be 60 days. It has to be, whatever the case may be. But we'll fill out those contracts. So what happens at the completion of a sale is if the buyer is able to, they can download those contracts, put in their name and address, fill in the price, scan it and resend it back to us, and it's done. There have been occasions where we've jumped in the car at the completion of the sale and gone around and just seen the buyers and signed it up on the spot. Bearing in mind, we've already got that initial deposit. So we've already taken the $1,000 off their credit card, and all we need to do is just work out the balance of the 10%, which is generally within 7 days of signing the contract. But settlement time is one of those things that we preset prior to the sale. If there's flexibility, we've had vendors say, look, don't care. Anywhere between 60 and 120 days is fine, in which case we'll feed that back to the buyers and just say anywhere between 60 days and 120 days. But it really is a very, very powerful system. And I think, once again, how does this differ from the new Open app? Interesting question. Significant differences, actually. We spoke to Peter quite a lot. He rang us, or we rang him, or he rang us, one of us, in October last year. We've been running this out of our office. Our first sale was in April 2016. I think at the end of the day, from my point of view, they're slightly different takes. Ours is very much, and I think it probably, because we're from Melbourne, we've taken very much an auction format on it. I'm very much of the view that technology is there to simplify things. Technology is there to ensure that our sale process runs smoother and easier and quicker. So we've eliminated a lot of the rules. One of my biggest issues with sale by set date when I used to run a large franchise was that sale by set date just had too many rules. You had to do this and do that. You had to, meet a reserve, and it was just convoluted and it was complex. I'm very much of the opinion that simplicity will win in every time and every day. I made a really clear technical decision early on not to go down the app format. We wanted to use a responsive website, and we did that for stability reasons. From a technical point of view, we've built this to last. To give you an idea, this will handle 500 concurrent sales at any one time. It has the capacity to send out 9,500 emails per 10-second interval. We've load tested it to ensure that we run a test or test software on it that we run dummy sales through it just to test its capacity. Our longest load time per page is 0.4 seconds, and our tolerance on our software is 0.4 seconds. We run this on a firewall protected Australian-based dedicated server, and what I mean by that is this server only functions to power market buy. It is not used for any other programs. And that gives us a degree of security. So the last thing that I'd ever want to happen is a sale to crash midway through. So we've built this. It's like putting a Formula One engine and then driving it on the road. Our capacity on this software is well above anything that we'll need anytime in the near future. But it's bulletproof, and we've tried to break it. We've tried to break it in testing a number of times. The other thing is that, I think by running a responsive website, we're not asking people to download apps. We can just provide a registration and they can access it from any device. They can access it through a phone. You can see it works very well as a responsive, from a responsive point of view. But I guess the simple answer is that it's looking for a similar solution. But we've had slightly different takes on the way that we've gone about it. I think open negotiation has been set up very much as a method of sale with, once again, fairly strict rules, fairly set parameters on how it works, whereas we've tried to build in a lot more flexibility. I think one of the things that I recognize after 20 years in real estate is every market's different. So we think that the way agents will use it, or the way agents will take it on board, will be very, very different from market to market. And we wanted to build in that flexibility so it had more of an across-the-board appeal, and it was something that could be used in almost any market, in any location. The other thing that we've been doing, and you can have a look on the screen there and see that we've got Red Blazer Real Estate. Red Blazer Real Estate doesn't actually exist. It's just a made-up brand that I've put in. But Red Blazer Real Estate is to demonstrate that we can brand this up in anyone's colours. You know, we've currently building a number of different brands for a number of different companies, or a number of different pages for a number of different brands, and it gives you the opportunity to use this as a, you know, as a branded solution. We're not interested in having our branding all over the place. You know, we know that agents want to be able to, you know, when you've got buyers on site, when you've got vendors on site, I think as an agent, from my point of view, that it's really, really important that they're seeing your brand. You know, they're seeing your logo. It's in your colors. You can then take the marketing and how you use this, and you can adapt it in any way you see fit. You know, it gives you a great deal of options as to how you approach it. You know, you can call this whatever you want to call it. You can call it, you know, flexi sell, flexi buy, you know, whatever you want to. You know, you can then create your own collateral around that and start to create a little bit of expertise in the area, you know, a bit of market recognition in your own local market. And I think that's really important. I think it's really important from an agent's point of view that you're not shoving and we have enough third-party brands. You know, we've got realestate.com and Domain. You know, we've got a ton of the other ones. I think there's enough out there where we're handing over our branding to a third-party company, and we didn't want to be a part of that. You know, we wanted to say, we'll provide the engine for you. We'll provide the software that will allow you to, you know, create your own product. But we want you to wrap it in your own body. Like, we want you to have your own, you know, your own car shape. We want you to have your own model, and we want you to have some fun with it and you know, make it into what it can be. And how someone uses this in Brisbane will be very different to how someone uses this in Perth. It'll be very different to how we use it in Melbourne. You know, in Melbourne, predominantly, most of our sales will be very, very much auction based, because we are an auction centric market. But in other areas, you know, it'll be more of a private sale type, backwards and forwards negotiation. So, you know, I think having that flexibility in play works really well. And I think it's important for sales software or anything that comes along like an offer management system like this. I think it's vitally important that it does have across the board usage in a variety of different markets. You know, we're speaking to people right across Australia and New Zealand. And one of the things that I've had since we released this to other agents over the last couple of months, it has been that, you know, it's amazing the diversity of markets, and it's amazing how much real estate changes from area to area. You know, obviously we can go to the other side of our own city and find a vastly different type of market. You know, how people are selling real estate in Melton varies hugely from how they do it in the middle of Richmond. So I think that's one of the things that gives us a huge amount of or a big edge. You know, I always say, and I've had a number of people talk to me about open negotiation. Obviously, they've had some money to spend. You know, for every Holden there's a Commodore, for every KFC there's a McDonald's. You know, you choose the option that's right for you. Can we choose how long any individual property is on offer for? 2 hours, 2 days, 2 months. Okay, so basically how we run it, we will run a campaign. Our campaign we run here are 3 weeks. We'll set a start time. So our start time is generally 5 o'clock on a Monday after the third open for inspection. The sale will run until people run out of money. To give you an idea of how that generally plays out, our longest sale has been, or the longest time it's been negotiated for, has been just a touch over 36 hours. The vast majority of our sales are completed within 4 to 5 hours. And that's where I say simplicity. At the end of the day, you know, dragging stuff out for 3 or 4 weeks and having people checking back on websites or apps or whatever the case may be, yeah, I don't think that's got long-term benefits. You know, I think what we do as real estate agents is, generally speaking, most of us do it really, really well. You know, we run it open for inspection. We have buyers there. We tell them how great the property is. We build that interest. We build that sense of, you know, urgency and that fear of loss. And then we get to a certain point in time where we go, all right, the sale's open. So prior to a sale being open, it'll be pending. So this sale's now ended. If I refresh that and started that again, set up another demo. We'll say that the sale is pending. So the sale, Mike, is pending until it opens. Clearly on this one, because I'm just running demonstrations, it opens every couple of minutes. But, you know, generally for my sales, it'll say it'll open in a week or 2 weeks or 5 days or whatever the case may be. We allow buyers to register. So I'll set up a page like this at an open for inspection. Buyers just log in. They put their email, their phone number, the property they're interested in. That goes straight through to me. Once the sale is ready, I'll use this. It goes into a central database. I'll use this, and then I'll just send it off, and they'll register for the property. Assume buyers can still place verbal offer. Yeah, look, we've had that question a fair bit from buyers. Can we place a verbal offer? The answer is yes, you can, but they don't get the opportunity to see what the other offers are. Most buyers that have asked us that, we've presented both options to them. So you can make a verbal offer, but you're really in the same situation as most other people. You know, you're not going to get the benefit of seeing what the other offers are. If you want us to call you with each and every offer, like we can, but it's going to make it more difficult for you. You know, once we run a demonstration for someone, most buyers will opt. Well, every buyer in our experience will opt to use the system. But yeah, I mean, once again, I think this will. Yeah, you can. You can set yourself up as a buyer. You absolutely can, and you can place offers on behalf of a buyer. I don't recommend it. You know, I think at the end of the day, most people are, as I said, I set this up so that it could be used by a 10-year-old. You know, I think most people are able to navigate a system where there's 2 boxes, an offer and a password, and place offer. You know, I think for most people that's pretty straightforward and pretty easy. But yeah, you could via an agent if you wanted to. No reason you couldn't. So that's it in a nutshell. You know, it's a very simple, it's a very straightforward sales process, and we have found that it works really, really well. You know, I have a number of examples of properties that have sold. I'll show you some of them. So that's another one. That the reserve on that one was $780,000. Our opening offer on it was $780,000, and we ended up selling it $820,000. It was good $40,000 over reserve. You know, and you can see it was quick fire. The sale opened at 5, and it was sold. That one sold inside an hour. People came back, so we had an offer, and they were offers all within a few minutes of each other. What's the best way to link advertising to your platform? Okay, I don't advertise on this platform. This is not, and I think that's the other thing that we've been really, really clear on in setting this up. We are not a marketing platform. We are merely an offer management platform. You know, marketing is handled through your personal websites. It's handled through realestate.com. You know, on realestate.com, I put that sign up page as an external link. I put the details of the sale in the front of the copy. I obviously put it on brochures and stuff like that. But we don't try and be everything to everyone. I made a really clear decision when I set this up to say that, you know, marketing is handled, as far as online marketing goes, like that's handled really, really well by the likes of realestate.com, Domain, whatever portals you're using in your area. And this is just software to allow us to handle our offers and handle our offers in a very transparent way. So the only people that can see these sales are the agents, the owners, and any buyers that you've approved. You can set up a viewing page so you can shoot that out to prospective vendors so they can watch a sale. I'd caution you, in a lot of cases, before we do that, we do ask our owners' permission. One of the really, really attractive parts of this program for our owners is it is very private. So not everyone watches, not everyone can see what's going on. It does provide a degree of anonymity and privacy to an owner. And I think a lot of owners are very, very mindful of that. They may not say it, and a lot of them will accept the public display or public auction type sale as a necessary evil. But given the option to have some sort of privacy, I think they really do like it. So we advertise something that is offered for sale by MarketBuy. Yeah, look, if you decide to go ahead and brand up your own page and you call it whatever you want, this is my page. So I run a real estate company called Market Share Property, and that's my page set up. Now, you can call it whatever you want. You can call it online sales, express sale. Doesn't matter what you call it. That's where I say, as an agent, you can come up with your own branding, and how you decide to word it is up to you. But something like that would be very much the way you would do it. And as I say, you've just got the buyer sign up page. Which is that one there. Buyer sign up page. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, agents are going to take this and use it. I don't believe in having a massive amount of control over how do you use it. How does payment work? It's $250 per transaction. That's it. You pay $250, you add it onto your advertising account. There's no lock-in contracts. I'm pretty confident, having used this now fairly extensively through my own company, that if once you use it, you'll find that it works really, really well, and you'll find that it will be something that you'll want to use more and more. Our experience has been nothing but positive. We've had fantastic feedback from owners. We've had fantastic feedback from buyers. So, it's something that I think will give agents a great deal of and I think agents always worry about losing control. You don't actually lose any control. It's a slightly different way of doing it. It's a slightly different way of, building competition and building that level of interest. But as far as losing any control, there's certainly none there. So it's your electronic sale with your branding on our platform. Exactly right. It's exactly what it is. I'm all about making sure agents, and I read a lot about technology. I'm very, very interested in innovation. We've won a number of innovation awards in our company. We were named as one of the top 3 innovators by realestate.com last year in the country. I'm getting a bit tired of people coming in saying that agents aren't necessary to a sale process. I don't have any real need to have my branding all over the stuff, all over everything. I think at the end of the day, the best thing that I can do for the real estate industry is to go, Mike, you want to use this, whatever company, whatever franchise, whatever individual company you work for, you're far better off to brand it up yourself, and you're far better off to then take it and run. Like, I'm really, really interested to see what people do with this. I have no great desire to have massive amount of control over it going forward. We'll run the engine room and the software of it, but where you take this and what you do with it, I think with the diverse number of agents in Australia and New Zealand and the differences in market, I think people will find new and clever and innovative ways to use this well beyond what I've thought of. So That's pretty much it. Is there any other specific questions on what it does? Is there any concerns about how it may not work in your market, or things that you're not too sure of? Because I can tell you, after a large number of sales, anything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong. I'll tell you a funny story. The very first sale I ran, one of the things I forgot to do was set up minimum offers. So my first sale ran for just under 3 days, and I had people making dollar offers. So, you know, if one of the benefits of this is I've extensively tested this on my own clients over the last 12 months. And, you know, I've stuffed the things up that I needed to stuff up so that you guys don't have to, you know, and I think that's been excellent for, you know, ensuring that when we do release it to the wider market, we're releasing a complete system. Fantastic, Tony. Convinced? Did you want me to give you a call at some stage? I'm happy to give you a call tomorrow and discuss it in greater detail. I've got a number of phone calls to make on this over the next couple of days, but I'm always happy to talk to agents, and you know, I'd love to see agents using it. I think it's great for the industry. I think it's great for our perception within the industry. And I will just show you this quickly, just to show you how easy it is to set up a sale. So this is my back end. This is where I log in. And if I wanted to set up a sale for a property, I would just add for sale item. And it's this easy. Start time for the sale, minutes for the first offer. So the minutes for the first offer is just how long it's open for before the first offer is made. I'll generally open up a property for 5 hours. And that gives people 5 hours to make their first offer. So sometimes people want to wait and see. I've never had it. Most people, I start a sale at 5 o'clock. Most people will have made their first offer within the first 10 minutes of open. Minutes for subsequent offers, that's where you set that at either 30 minutes or 25 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever's going to work in your market. So that timer will reset. Each time a new offer is made, that timer will reset at whatever predetermined time you've got there. Finish time, I generally don't put a finish time in. You can if you want to create a greater sense of urgency. I tend not to. I just reckon people would just keep going until they run out of money. Having said that, most of mine virtually everyone except for the first one with the dollar offers has finished within 24 hours. So I don't think there's any need for a finish time. Reserve amount, clearly you need a reserve. If you don't have a reserve, then it's then it's going to sell for whatever the highest price is, and your owners may not be real happy about you if that's well under what they'll accept. Minimum bid amount, clearly you've got to have a minimum bid amount. That just comes back to the fact that we don't want people making dollar offers. Deposit required, that's up to you. That's the money that will automatically come off the credit card. And that's one of the other key features that we've got that, you know, and I understand about open negotiation. There's about 4 other different people out there. There's another place called Bid Rhino. There's a whole heap of people out there that are trying to perfect this as far as online offers. But we're the only ones that have set up an agreement with eWay. eWay is owned by the National Australia Bank. And it's a system that we've had to customize. It's a system that was set up to allow for, you know, when you go to a hotel and they ask for your credit cards, they take a pre-approval off your credit card to make sure you don't burn the place down. We had to adapt that because there was nothing in place that would work. We've had to adapt that for real estate. We worked really closely with the National Australia Bank and eWay. But now we have an ability to deduct money. As soon as the sale finishes, we deduct money straight off their credit card. I tend not to do more than $1,000, simply being because not everyone's got more than $1,000 available on their credit card. We did do 2,000. We bounced a couple of credit cards because not everyone's got a couple of grand. So $1,000 is generally the right. We haven't had any problems with $1,000, and it's a significant amount of money. It's significant enough to ensure that you've got serious buyers there. Both building and pest, and that's where we decide whether we're going to have any conditions on our offer. You can have all conditions or no conditions. Notification email address, that's just who we set up as a listing agent. So the listing agent is the one that can make the counter offer on behalf of the owner. And this is where we put the title. As far as the title, I just use the property address, brief description of the property, bedroom count, bathroom count, parking count. We can upload up to 15 photos. I tend to do 3 or 4. And these are our contracts and Section 32s. Obviously, this is my page. So if you're doing something that was not in Victoria, it's whatever the relevant sales documents in your area is called. Mike, no more. Can we call you? Yes. Have you got a pen? My phone number is 0438 590 157. That's 0438 590 157. Happy to have a chat anytime. How do you advertise price range? Interesting, we are limited in Victoria. We have to advertise within a 10% price range. So we've got new rules that have come in on the 1st of May where we have to provide a statement of information and we have to advertise based on comparable sales. So we're limited, but that's, you would price it how you would normally price it for your market. You know, if you have no price on it on realestate.com, then you know, this has no price. As I say, this is not a marketing platform. No one actually sees this site unless they're a registered buyer, an owner, or an agent. And you're the ones as the agents that determines who gets to see the sale. Give that deduction to us as agent, and then we chase balance the deposit. Yeah, so look, the $1,000, if you're running this site through our page, which is just a generic market buy page. So we have a generic page that you can use. That $1,000 will go to our trust account. We'll then pass that on to you. So we'll just transfer that straight to your trust account and you'll have to chase up the 10% deposit. If you set up a branded page, it costs $900 to set up a branded page in your colors. And part of that $900 is to organize with eWay to connect directly to your trust account so that any deposit money that you organize will be automatically deposited straight into your trust account, or if you're in a different area that doesn't use trust accounts, you know, a transactional account. Our deposits that we get are automatically put straight into our trust account. So it depends how you set it up. You know, not everyone wants their own page. I think it's always a good idea to have your own branded page and eWay connections. I think it just makes things cleaner. But once again, we're all about flexibility and we're all about making sure that, you know, you've got the choices to work what's going to work best in your market. You know, I've spent 20 years in real estate, but I've spent 20 years in real estate in the outer eastern suburbs of Melbourne. I've never sold a single property outside of metropolitan Melbourne. So, you know, I don't know how other markets work in the sense I've not had that physical experience of working in other markets. And balance deposit would just be like you'd normally have on a normal contract. I'm sure most people in Australia take an initial deposit and take the balance within a predetermined time. Some places it'll be 3 days, some places it'll be 7 days, some places it'll be 14 days. And I think that's you know, that's dependent on the area that you're in. All right. Any other questions? Anyone else got anything specific they'd like to ask me about how this works, or anything that I can add for you tonight? All good? All right. So, Tony, I've got your mobile number. I will give you a call in the morning. Did I record tonight? Yes, I did record tonight. Tony, I've got your mobile number. I'll give you a call in the morning. And new one up. What's that, Steve? Type that again, mate. I missed that. Yeah, we recorded tonight, so I can provide the recording to you. That's fine. One-on-one. Not sure what you're saying, Steve. Yeah, no worries, Tony. And I'll give you a call tomorrow. And have you got a good time for me to call you tomorrow, Tony? If you're sitting in front of a computer, I can sit in and plug you in as a buyer and give you an opportunity to actually be a buyer and have a hand-on demonstration of what it's like to operate the system and to be a participant and see how it works and how seamlessly it works. So I'm happy to do that if you've got a good time for me to give you a call. Steve, still not too sure what you're asking me. One-on-one and running. Single offer up and running. I've just finalised the last bit. Steve, interesting one about that. after lunch is fine. Tony, great. I'll call you after lunch. Just making a note of that. Steve, I had 24 hours where I had to make a decision whether I was going to have a purchase now button. And what I mean by that is when the counter offer is made by the owner, I had the option to either have a accept offer button, in which case if someone accepts the offer, then it finalizes the sale there and there on the spot, and that's in the instance of a single offer. Or I could let a timer run down. Now, I went backwards and forwards on that for a while. I've made the decision to build in the accept offer button. I will have everything finalized. I've just had a meeting this afternoon with our developers, and it will all be finalized by the 30th of June. So 30th of June, that will all be up and running perfectly. And that includes a week for us to run some testing. I've got a sale at $1.3 million that will be running on this on the 26th of June. And I have said to our developers that I want the latest version up and running by the 26th of June. So, that'll be a very exciting one for us, because that'll be the first time where we've got a 2-stage timer. And that's where going past reserve, the timer skips back to 10 minutes or 5 minutes. That's going to be a lot of fun for us for that one. Single offers, mate, 4 weeks and you're done. Yeah, I spoke to your mate, Michael Morris, too, Steve. So I've been having lots of chats to him. And no doubt he'll be on the phone to you at some stage tomorrow. But I have another online training session with him tomorrow. But he's very keen to get up and running as well. Bindi, thanks for joining. Be in touch. I'll say my mobile again. It's 0438 590 157. Love for you to reach out and have a chat. Once again, if you're interested, I'm more than happy to do a one-on-one demonstration for you, so you've got an opportunity to have a feel for it and get an idea of how it works and how it can work for your particular market. And that's about it, guys. I hope you got something out of tonight, and I've been able to answer some specific questions. Is a really powerful tool. And I will just finish on this. I think you'll find one of the greatest powers of this is being able to go and provide yourself with a realistic, tangible point of difference. And I think that's what we're really missing in real estate. But to be able to go into an owner and really be able to demonstrate value for money and a system that they've not seen before. And if you're able to run a very quick demonstration like I was the other day, you'll find that vendors will very, very quickly see the power in it and will cotton onto it, because that's how they like to transact. Everyone buys everything online these days, and it's so simple. And you have that aha moment when you do it with people, and they get that chance to play around with it, where they just look at, the comment that I get from owners time and time again is, why isn't everyone doing this? Why is this not the way that we do all the sales? And I say, well, I think it will be at some stage. So thanks very much. I will be in touch with Tony tomorrow. Mike, you've got my mobile. Does anyone need my mobile again? I'll just say it quickly again. It's 0438 590 157. You can find me at Market Share Property online. My mobile and email's there because I'm a normal agent like everyone else, so I'm not that hard to find. And I've got all your email addresses from logging in tonight, so I will send out a recording of this to all of you tomorrow. So you can have a chance to have another look over, and obviously call me if you've got any questions. But thanks very much for attending, everyone. I really do. I'm glad that I got a chance to talk about it. You're probably find that I get very excited about this. I love talking about this system. It's a great system to use, and I'd love to see more of it out there in the marketplace. So for those of you I talk to over the next few days, I look forward to it. Steve, glad you're sending that letter off to the real estate, what is it? Real Estate Association of Auckland, Real Estate Association, whatever it is over there in New Zealand. If you need anything, mate, as you know, just call me anytime. I'm always happy to have a chat to you. We'll get yours up and running as soon as possible. Your page is ready, as you know. Steve, do you mind if I show people your page so they can see what it looks like? You got any objection to that? Not there. Gone. Steve's gone. All right, I won't show his page without his permission. For the rest of you, thanks. I'll talk to you soon. Good night. I'm going home. It's cold in Melbourne. I'm going to go and see what my kids are up to. Talk to you soon. Thanks. Thanks, guys.